It is now known that the indictments against Donald Trump in Georgia is unconstitutional, for it violates 4 amendments of the Constitution. These indictments are attacks on these amendments. The First Amendment: Congress cannot pass any law making any religion the religion of the United States or take away the freedom to worship as one pleases. Congress cannot take away or restrict freedom of speech or freedom of the press. Citizens may protect themselves against damaging insults spoken or written about them by civil lawsuits, and no one may advocate or call for the overthrow of government by war. So, people are protected against lawsuits of what people say. The 12th Amendment: the electors meet in their states and vote by ballot for both president and vice president, naming which candidates is the presidential candidate and which is the vice presidential candidate. A separate list is made naming each candidate for each of office and giving the number of votes received by each. These lists are signed by the electors, sealed, certified, and sent to Washington, D.C., addressed to the President of the Senate. If no presidential candidate gets a majority of the electoral votes, the House of Representatives elect a president by ballot from the 3 candidates with the most electoral votes. A quorum in the House for this purpose is 1 or more representatives from 2/3 of the states. The vote is taken by state, and each state has 1 vote. A majority vote is necessary to elect a president. If the House does not elect a president before the next January 20th, change from March 4th by the 20th Amendment, the person elected vice president acts as president, just as he would in the case of the death of any other constitutional disability of the president. If no vice presidential candidate gets a majority of the electoral votes, the Senate elects a vice president from the 2 candidates with the most electoral votes. A quorum in the Senate for this purpose is 2/3 of the senators, and a majority vote is necessary to elect a vice president. No person ineligible, unable to meet the qualifications for president, may be elected vice president. This changes Article 2, Section 1 in part. Today, for all practical purposes, casting electoral votes is just a formality. With our modern voting machines, computers, radio, television, and news services, we are able to know who is elected president or vice president within a few hours after the election. Congress does not count the electoral votes until January, and we usually know the outcome as early as the first or second week in November. 14th Amendment. Any person born and naturalized in the United States and governed by it is a citizen of the United States and of the state in which he or she resides. No state can make laws that abridge, take away, or restrict any right, privilege, or protection of citizens of the United States, nor pass laws that may cost a person his life, imprison him, or fine him, unless he has been found guilty of a crime in a court of law by due process of law, following fair legal practices based upon fair laws. No state may deny any person under its government equal protection of the law. And that's Section 1. Section 2. Representatives to Congress are elected in each state according to that state's population. If any state takes away the right to vote for, elect as president or vice president of the United States, or United States senators or representatives, or any state executive, legislature, or judicial offices from any males of that state who are A, 21 years of age, B, citizens of the United States, and C, have not been convicted of a crime or rebellion against the United States, the number of representatives for that state may be reduced in proportion to those persons not allowed to vote in that state. This was to protect the African Americans' right to vote in the southern states after the Civil War. It has never been enforced. It says the rights of male citizens to vote, because women at this time did not have the right to vote. Section 3. No person could be a president of the United States, United States senator or representatives, elector, president, vice president. 3, a military or civilian officer of the United States, or 4, a state officer if he had ever taken the oath to support the Constitution when elected as 1, the United States senator, representative. 2, any other state officer, or 3, a member of state legislature. 4, a member of the state judiciary or courts. 5, a state executive officer, and then had fought against the United States or given help to the Confederacy or southern states that attempted to secede or withdraw from the Union during the Civil War. Congress was given the power to do away with this section by a 2/3 vote and did so in 1898. Section 4. The United States promised to pay all lawful debts it had made during the Civil War, including pensions and bounties or rewards, to persons who earned them fighting for the United States in the Civil War. But neither the United States nor any state was allowed to pay debts owed by Confederacy, and no payment could be made for emancipated or free slaves. All debts, obligations, and claims against the Confederacy and in regard to freed slaves were considered illegal and void and not payable. And the 6th Amendment. Rights of a person accused of a crime. And I think this, I don't know about the other two. Freedom of speech, definitely. The other one about how elections are held, it says nothing about contesting. This is what they said it violates. So I like them to find the one about contesting, that the prohibition against contesting an election is protected. I like to, see that. But this is what will really protect Trump. Amendment 6, rights of a person accused of a crime. When prosecuted or brought to trial for a crime, an accused person has these rights. 1, right to a speedy as soon as possible and public in front of people to see it is a fair trial. 2, right to an impartial, which is an open-minded jury selected from the state and judicial district where the crime was committed. An impartial, not 12 jurors who hate Trump. Okay. 3, the right to hear charges made against him. 4, right to hear witnesses against him. 5, right to have witnesses in his favor by means of subpoena under court order, forcing witness to appear if necessary. 6, right to have assistance of counsel, a lawyer for his defense. If he is unable to pay a lawyer, the court must provide him one. Okay. The 1st and 6th, most definitely. The other 2 amendments, I don't see how they're relevant. But that's what a legal scholar said. But you heard it yourself, you've seen it yourself. Okay. The court does not have the authority to charge his lawyers and restrict or remove the defendant from counsel. Okay. That is illegal and unconstitutional. And by that very thing, there must be a motion to dismiss. There must be. Because these charges, and I think it was the other one where his lawyers were subpoenaed. Okay. The court's not allowed to do that. Matter of fact, the court must allow the defendant to have counsel. That if he cannot afford counsel, one will be appointed to him by the court of law. We have heard this many, many, many times with the Amanda rights, Miranda rights, whatever it is. Miranda rights. Okay. And for the court to deny him counsel and to subpoena such counsel is unconstitutional and illegal. And for that reason, such cases where that occurred, those cases must be dismissed. They must be. So I don't know which one. I know that Georgia charged his legal counsel, as co-conspirators. So that, I think, is illegal. I think on one of the cases, I think the more recent one, where his lawyers were subpoenaed and forced to reveal attorney-client privilege, that is illegal, unconstitutional, and that case must be dismissed under those cases, under the Sixth Amendment. Violation of the Sixth Amendment. Okay. That must be dismissed under the Sixth Amendment. Okay. That's what I wanted to examine. Okay. Because when I hear something, I research. And this is the best research material that I have. Okay. This is the best research material that I have. And I'm glad that I have it, because now I could look it up. And I could see what's, going on. So, his First Amendment right is under attack. Definitely his Sixth Amendment right is under attack. And I could not see in the other two questioning an election is protected. I'd love to see that. I don't know where that is. I'm not up to that yet. I still have a ways to go in reading this book. But this is a good reference book. And I recommend it to everyone. Alright, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.